You must immediately assess your time machine's wreckage for any usable emergency gear or protective equipment. Scan your surroundings within the first 60 seconds. You're in an alien ocean environment with unfamiliar life forms. Your primary threat is the toxic prehistoric algae. Cover your mouth and nose with fabric from your clothing immediately. Move away from any green or blue-tinted water within the first 5 minutes. These indicate dangerous algal blooms. You need to find elevated ground quickly. The Cambrian seas experience rapid tidal shifts that could sweep you away. Locate any rocky outcroppings or primitive coral reefs. These will be your safest zones above the toxic water level. Your survival depends on finding clean water. Look for clear running streams feeding into the ocean within the first hour. Test water sources by observing if primitive arthropods are present. If they can survive in it, it may be safe. You must create a basic filtration system using layers of sand, charcoal from your wreckage, and fabric from your clothes. Within 3 hours, establish a base camp at least 50 feet above the waterline to avoid prehistoric tidal surges. Use your paracord to secure any salvaged materials. The Cambrian atmosphere has higher oxygen levels, causing stronger winds. Your fire starter is crucial. The higher oxygen content means fires will burn hotter and faster than you're used to. Create smoke signals using wet vegetation. The dense atmosphere will make the smoke more visible to potential rescuers. You should construct a shelter using wreckage materials. The UV radiation levels are significantly higher in this period. Monitor the primitive sun's position carefully. Days were shorter in the Cambrian, approximately 21 modern hours. Avoid any contact with the local life forms. Even small creatures may have unknown defense mechanisms or toxins. Your machete can be used to cut primitive vegetation for shelter, but be cautious. Some may be poisonous to touch. Keep your blanket dry at all costs. The temperature fluctuations between day and night are more extreme than modern Earth. You must maintain your core temperature. The unfamiliar atmosphere makes hypothermia and hyperthermia serious risks. Use your whistle sparingly. The different atmospheric composition means sound travels differently here. Watch for signs of primitive predators in the water. The first vertebrates are already evolving in this period. Create clear markers pointing back to your base camp. The unfamiliar landscape makes getting lost a serious danger. Your survival depends on careful rationing of any modern supplies. You don't know which local resources are safe. Document everything you observe. Understanding patterns in this alien environment is crucial for long-term survival. Stay mentally focused by maintaining a routine. The alien environment and isolation can quickly affect your psychology. Begin constructing a solar still within 6 hours. The ocean water is too dangerous to drink even if desalinated. Keep track of time using shadow positions. You must adapt to the shorter day-night cycle quickly. Monitor your health constantly. Any cuts or scratches could be infected by prehistoric bacteria your body can't fight. Remember, your modern immunities don't protect against Cambrian pathogens. Treat every surface as contaminated. Your fire starter can be used to sterilize materials, but be extremely careful with fire in the oxygen-rich atmosphere. Your first priority is establishing a safe camp away from the toxic prehistoric algae blooms that dominate the coastline. Move at least 500 meters inland from any visible water bodies to avoid dangerous hydrogen sulfide gas released by ancient bacteria. You must find high ground within the first hour. The Cambrian seas experienced extreme tidal fluctuations that could flood lowlands. Search for natural rock formations that can provide shelter. The lack of vegetation means caves and overhangs are your best options. Your time machine's emergency beacon will only function for 72 hours. You need to stay within 100 meters of the crash site. Test any water sources by observing if primitive arthropods can survive in it. If you see no life forms, the water's likely toxic. Your emergency kit contains iodine tablets. Use them to purify any water you find, as prehistoric microorganisms are highly dangerous. You must construct a rainwater collection system using your emergency blanket. The ancient atmosphere produced frequent acid rain. Create a defensive perimeter using your machete to dig a trench. Early Cambrian predators like Anomalocaris were highly aggressive. Your fire starter will be crucial for survival. The higher oxygen levels of this period mean fires will burn hotter and faster. Gather trilobite shells to use as tools. Their calcium carbonate composition makes them surprisingly durable for primitive tools. You should avoid touching any green or blue-green substances in the water. These are toxic cyanobacteria that can cause severe burns. Your paracord can be used to create elevated sleeping platforms. Never sleep directly on the ground in this hostile environment. Monitor the sky for changes in coloration. The ancient atmosphere contained different gas concentrations that affected visibility. You must conserve your energy carefully. The higher oxygen levels will make you feel energetic, but can lead to oxygen toxicity. Create signal markers using contrasting materials. The rescue team will be scanning for artificial geometric patterns. Your whistle should only be used in emergencies. The sound may attract primitive predators adapted to sensing vibrations. Treat any cuts or scrapes immediately with your first aid kit. The bacterial life forms in this period can cause severe infections. You should establish a daily routine of checking your emergency beacon every 4 hours to ensure it hasn't been damaged. Build your shelter against rock faces, never near water. The tidal patterns of the Cambrian period were extremely unpredictable. Your survival depends on staying dry. The combination of salt water and primitive bacteria can quickly lead to deadly infections. Keep your food stores elevated and sealed. The earliest arthropods were excellent scavengers and will be attracted to any organic matter. You must maintain constant vigilance. The Cambrian period hosted numerous predatory species that hunted by movement detection. Create multiple escape routes from your camp. The unstable geology of this period means sudden sinkholes are a constant threat. Your time machine wreckage can provide valuable materials. Strip any useful components while staying aware of your surroundings. Monitor yourself for symptoms of oxygen sickness. Dizziness, euphoria, or confusion could indicate dangerous oxygen levels. You should only move during daylight hours. The primitive atmosphere created intense darkness that modern humans aren't adapted to. Establish clear markers leading back to your camp. The lack of familiar landmarks makes navigation extremely challenging. Your chances of rescue increase if you maintain your position near the crash site. Time travelers are easier to locate when stationary. Remember that normal survival rules may not apply. The fundamental differences in atmosphere and biology require constant adaptation. Begin searching for safe water sources immediately. The Cambrian oceans are toxic due to high levels of sulfur and primitive algae blooms. You must locate elevated ground within your first hour. The primordial seas frequently experience rapid tidal shifts that can submerge lowlands. Use your machete to cut sturdy vegetation for a makeshift shelter. The local plant life is primitive, but strong enough for basic construction. Your fire starter will be crucial for survival. The atmosphere contains higher oxygen levels than modern Earth, making fires easier to start. You need to test any potential food sources carefully. The local arthropods and worms are likely edible, but may contain unknown toxins. Create a water filtration system using layers of sand, charcoal from your fires, and fibrous plant material within the first 6 hours. Watch the sky carefully for weather patterns. The Cambrian atmosphere creates more violent storms than you're accustomed to. Your blanket can serve as both shelter and water collection device. Morning dew will be safer than seawater for drinking. Construct elevated sleeping platforms at least 6 feet off the ground. Primitive sea scorpions and other arthropods are active at night. You must maintain strict hygiene practices. Even minor cuts can become infected with unfamiliar Cambrian bacteria. Use your paracord to create defensive perimeters around your shelter. Early predators are drawn to movement and unfamiliar scents. Preserve any tool materials you find. The primitive environment lacks many materials you'd normally rely on for survival. Your whistle can help deter curious creatures. Most Cambrian animals are sensitive to sharp, loud sounds due to primitive sensory organs. Keep fires burning constantly. The higher oxygen content means they'll burn hotter and longer than you expect. Document the day-night cycle carefully. The Earth's rotation was slightly faster in the Cambrian, affecting your time measurements. You should avoid touching any bioluminescent organisms. Many early life forms use light displays as a warning of toxicity. Create clear markers around your camp. The primitive landscape lacks distinct features that could help you navigate. Test new water sources by observing local life. If primitive organisms avoid certain areas, you should too. Your survival depends on understanding tidal patterns. Mark high water lines and plan your activities around predictable flooding. Remember that familiar survival rules may not apply. The Cambrian period operates under different atmospheric and biological conditions. Stay vigilant for signs of geological activity. The Earth's crust was more volatile during this period. You must ration your modern tools carefully. There will be no replacements if they break or wear out. Keep your shelter well ventilated. The higher oxygen levels can make enclosed spaces dangerous during fires. Learn to read the behavior of local creatures. Their reactions to environmental changes can warn you of incoming dangers. Your machete blade can serve as a reflective signal in emergencies. The primitive atmosphere creates unique light patterns. Monitor your own health obsessively. Any unusual symptoms could indicate reaction to the unfamiliar environment. Create backup water and food storage locations. Local scavengers will be attracted to any resources you collect. You should establish a daily routine within the first week. Maintaining structure helps combat the psychological stress of extreme isolation. Remember that help isn't coming. Your survival depends entirely on your ability to adapt to this alien environment. Practice extreme caution when exploring new areas. The Cambrian landscape can change dramatically with each tide cycle. Notice your time machine's power cells beginning to fail, casting an eerie blue glow across your shelter's walls. You must accept that rescue is impossible. No one will find you here, 541 million years before humanity exists. Check your remaining supplies carefully. 3 days of oxygen, 2 days of water, and equipment showing critical wear. Watch the ancient seas through your shelter's viewport, filled with primitive creatures unlike anything in modern times. Your radiation suit's filters are clogging with prehistoric spores. You have perhaps 12 hours of protection remaining. Gather any functioning equipment near your sleeping area. You'll need quick access as systems continue failing. Listen to the strange sounds outside, the hiss of toxic gases, the splash of unknown creatures in the primordial ocean. Your shelter's integrity is weakening. Small cracks appear where the ancient atmosphere seeps through. Calculate remaining resources carefully. Prioritize oxygen conservation over food and water in these final hours. Document your observations of this ancient world. Future scientists may someday find your records. Feel the increasing warmth as environmental controls struggle. The Cambrian atmosphere is slowly seeping in. Watch the mesmerizing patterns of bioluminescent creatures through the viewport while power still remains. Your hands shake as you write final notes, but maintain scientific objectivity about this unprecedented situation. Notice how the ancient starlight looks different here. Constellations shifted by hundreds of millions of years. Conserve movement to preserve oxygen. Each breath becomes precious as supplies dwindle. The shelter's metal groans under pressure from the alien atmosphere. Accept that it cannot hold much longer. Your mind feels surprisingly clear now, perhaps from the changing air mixture or simple acceptance. Observe the strange beauty of this prehistoric world. Few humans will ever witness such sights. The emergency lights flicker and fade, leaving only the glow of ancient bioluminescence through the viewport. Your breathing slows naturally as oxygen thins. The transition feels almost peaceful now. Watch the dance of primitive life forms outside, your last companions in this ancient sea. The stars wheel overhead in unfamiliar patterns, marking time in this prehistoric night. Your consciousness begins to drift like seaweed in these ancient waters, becoming one with this primordial world. The last systems power down quietly, leaving you in the embrace of Earth's distant past. Feel yourself becoming part of this ancient history, your atoms joining the cycle of prehistoric life. The boundary between yourself and this ancient world grows thin as systems fail and barriers dissolve. Your final thoughts scatter like plankton in these pristine seas, returning to Earth's beginning. Watch the ancient dawn approach, knowing you've witnessed something profound and beautiful. The prehistoric ocean welcomes you home, completing a circle 541 million years in the making. Your journey ends where all life began, beneath these strange stars and ancient waters.